Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Alex Williamson here with A Secret History Living in Your Fishery or something. How's it going, everybody? I am deciding to stream even though today it's been rainy and we were out running errands, and honestly I had a side gig that I was working on, and I didn't get off till about 2 hours later than I thought I was going to. So I apologize for being a little late for the time slot, but I'm here now, and I wanted to at least say hey. And it's supposed to rain all weekend, and despite my wife and I having a couple of plans, I think I'm going to try to get in another stream because there's a whole lot of stuff I want to show you guys in the fish room, including I've got new aspidoras. I've got the new Tenichthyes Vietnamese variety that I only got a sneak peek to show you guys. Also, some of my the apistos that I got from redfish, bluefish, they're showing their spawning colors. It's season here in Washington where I am able to catch dojo loaches out in the wild. These are invasive, but they're chilling, and they're little cuddle puppies when they're this size. They want to like get into small spaces where it's dark. So if you like cup the bag, they like go hide in there, and you can feel them wriggling around a lot of times. But I've got a couple just in this bag, happen to be here getting warm. They're not technically white clouds. They're I guess they would be called what? I mean, they are in that group, but I think they've been calling them meteor minnows or yellow white clouds or super white clouds. Um, but they're a Vietnamese Tenichthyes group, and they're, I guess, I mean, I misspoke. That's not the right word. I misspoke just now. I was incorrect when I thought that there were only the two species in the genus, or I guess three now. But there are a list of another three or four. But the problem is that some of them are just illustrations, and they can't seem to agree now on a few of them that may or may not be like fifth and sixth, but they can't like find them, I guess. But what's going on, everybody? Mick, what's going on, buddy? Boy, now I feel Iger Ellison, hello, welcome from Iceland. Lovely. It's probably the sun's probably not setting for you this evening now, is it? Oh, Rye Guy says he had to do surgery on one of his eels last night. Was choking on a small fish. I didn't know it was in the tank. Man, wild. Goki says I can link a paper. Oh, subspecies. Yeah. Yeah. I've got the paper. Yeah, they won't disclose their location. Yeah, there's a few. I ended up talking with Hans Evers, who is in town from Germany. He spoke at our club, and man, that guy is a freaking wealth of knowledge, and it was pretty cool to get to chat with him. And I got some information that I'll probably be making videos on. He's also publishing a book about some of the pleco species that they've finally done. What do you call it? Full genomic haplogroup testing on. And so now they actually know, for instance, like the super white pleco that's been found in a deep gully off the Xingu River. Well, it turns out that it is not wild, as they suspected. It is not man-made per se, in the sense that it wasn't bred intentionally, but there's no hypensistrus in that stretch of the river that they find these things in. And it looks like a little zebra pleco with big eyes, and it stays smaller and lives down deep in the water underneath pretty fast moving current. And it turns out that fish is a hybrid that formed in the wild because back in the 70s, while they were out catching plecos, the locals, they just decided to like take some from this river and this river and this river. Let's throw them all together so that they'll spawn and that we don't have to go as far to collect them. And so it's interesting. I don't know. So I want to get some footage and, ask his permission. And also I've got a couple people in the works, hopefully for the channel coming on soon that I'm excited about. Some European fish keepers, a British one and another German one. I don't want to, give away the secret until it's locked in for sure. And then July 22nd, I'll be down in LA speaking for the Scape Club. And I'm excited about that brand new presentation that will undoubtedly cover a lot of new ground. Mick says 2:22 a.m. here, and the sun is coming up. Midsummer is next weekend. Big holiday over there. Yeah, midsummer. Yeah, definitely. It's in Seattle right now. If you go outside around 3:45, the sky's blue already. And then it lights up by, I don't know, 5 or so, and then sun stays up till around 10. So it's not nearly as extreme as the Arctic Circle, but it is way more extreme than, say, Florida. It's amazing the difference that makes. Yeah, Chan and Fang and Zhang, man, those guys, I don't know how they have the time, but they discover so many fish, and yeah, it's wild. Whether it's stiphodons or whether it's panda loaches or shrimp, I mean, it's crazy. It's really crazy how many papers those guys author out of Hong Kong, Singapore, and Japan between the three of them. But I kind of wonder if like because they always have et al. And there's like 40 names. So I kind of just wonder if they get the credit on the paper in the Asian society, like kind of a hierarchical thing. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm curious about that. Ray Aquatics, what's up? Yeah, I'm sure they have more species than they know what to do with in that Southeast Asian, all those biotopes. Pretty cool. Chris Aquazone, what's up? Fish and Floral, Silver Creek, Pile, what's going on? Ray Aquatics, Shady Grady, Jeff, what's up? Gary, hello. And who else is in here? Linda, hello, good to see you. Aaron, hello, welcome. Carol and Stephen, hello. Anthony, hello. Stephen P, what's up? Alana Balloon, what's going down? Joe Sneed, what's going down? Emma, Frank, awesome. Let's see here. Thanks for water info. I always assume the exchange of calcium. Let's see. Exchange of calcium ions with sodium was the issue with water softener water. Yeah, there's a little bit of speculation with what all goes on there. And I think it depends on the situation. But the thing is, they do controlled studies like that where they'll take an empty tank of water and they'll put together carbon and some other thing in an elemental form, and then they'll try like a carbonate form, and then they'll mix them together, and they'll do it at an ambient room temperature with like stirring on, and then they're like, okay, well, these two things are able to turn into this, and this is the conversion rate. And like sometimes it's so negligible that it doesn't take into account the fact that like our biological processes in our tank, like for instance, nitrogen fixation going on in bacteria and into plants and things, like all these different processes. A lot of times chemistry will say one thing, and that's kind of like a video, and I was deciding whether I wanted to tackle it or not, and I have decided I don't want to start the the drama right now. But I, Mr. Novak, uh, and his BCB boxes, I've talked to now about a dozen people, and a lot of people say they work and they work great, and that's fine. But when you find out what's in them, it's very, very similar to just buffering a non-filtered tank and having a lot of surface area. And so until anybody can get to the core of their biocenosis box or basket, whatever you want to call it, um, BSB or BCB, I've seen different acronyms. We won't know about the anoxic filtration. We won't know how much of that is even being sequestered until somebody tests that. Nobody seemed to have done that. And it seems like that would be an easy test to break the ammonia and the nitrates or nitrites out. But my bigger thought on all of that is that just the basket one, even if it did work, you would have surface area all around covered in aufux and bacterial mats. And those would colonize with all the aerobic bacteria and things. And then if you have any flow whatsoever, I mean, and I mean anything beyond osmosis going, settling, it's gonna aerate the water to some degree. The water even osmotically will go through sand and kitty litter for a few inches oxygenated, no problem. So I don't know, but I was wanting to kind of make a video on it, but I figured I could just let folks know here my thoughts on it if they were curious. Maybe I'll take a sample of this little spiel I'm giving now, and I'll make a short out of it, or a clip out of it. But the other thing is that we have bog filters, and I'm not arguing with the effectiveness of an undergravel filter or a plenum. I think those are fine. I'm not arguing with the having a whole separate chamber with a sump and having filtration. However, I think in the same square inches, you could use a non-organic substrate, and if you add a little bit of iron and sulfur, I think you would have very, very, very similar, if not identical, results, if not maybe even better results about the ability of it to filter your aquarium. Because you see people like Lucas Bretz, who he and I don't agree on every aspect of things, but we both like to challenge ourselves with keeping the non-filterless tanks from time to time and things like that. But yeah, it's interesting in that he's able to cycle a tank with just dirt, just substrate that has lots of surface area, very fine dirt and sand and stuff in his aquarium, just using algae and hard water. And it's able to be cycled and to carry things like his mascara barbs if need be even. Now it builds up over time, but the thing is, Novak's claims build up. He says that they need to take time also, like months and months, and then he uses a bacterial jump start to start his filter and all this other stuff. It just doesn't add up to my mind. He hasn't proved it in small scale. And then the thing that has always bugged me is that he's never proven credentials. All the reviewers of his papers and downloadable content and things, they don't exist, or they're the same names that are saying the same things, and they have traceable IP addresses in some cases that are to the same location and all sorts of other things. So he won't say, oh, I got my PhD from X, Y, or Z. And I went to the trouble a while back, and I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt. Could have a PhD. Maybe he changed his name legally, but maybe he's in witness protection and just thinks it would be great to be online. But he he is not a limnologist, that's for sure. I have talked to all the limnologist professors freaking possible via email network and things like that. And he has no peer reviewed papers or anything. So, and he gives the same story. And when clubs or other people are introducing him or referencing him, they even give these stories. Like a Harvard vetted chemist came to his house and said, "This is a breakthrough of a lifetime," and blah, blah. He always has the same story, but it's all been crafted by him starting in the late 90s. So now the interesting part is though that the science that's there, if you do it on a big enough scale, if you have like a entire 12-foot long deep substrate sand trap, you'll definitely get that anoxic filtration happening. It's been documented since the 1920s. So that's yeah, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, anoxic, or I mean, you could also just call it. I mean, there's anoxic, there's and then there's oh, why am I spacing on the other word for low? Not no oxygen, but no free oxygen is not hypoxic, but that would also be low oxygen. But anyways, my brain is stalling. But I'm going to move on now. I'm done with that little rant. Passing wind, what's going on? Anthony Udovich, first class fish, fish YouTuber, what's up? And yeah, they grew coral. I think it's worked in some ponds on larger scale too. Like also maybe in combination, there's some things going on that are working. I just don't think I see no proof that it works in a tank, say under 40 gallons, any better than it works on a on an aerobic. Oh, anaerobic. That was the term I was thinking of, other than anoxic. Cody V, welcome. We've got a new member. Thank you so very kindly. I always appreciate the memberships. It allows me to do what I do. Right now, I've been having to take up some side jobs just because of some medical bills and trying to pay off my new piano keys on my lower jaw, my Ross teeth that glow in the dark. I need to get the top done now. So that'll be another 15K. But I got to pay these ones off first and then go get the real permanent ones, because these ones are acrylic and I got to switch to ceramic when it's time. But any case, yeah, that was all a really long roundabout way to say that the memberships, I see so many of you who are members. Don't want to guilt any of y'all who can't afford it, or you got a million other memberships. I get it, no worries. But thank you for those of you who are, because it really does help, or patrons. It does help stabilize, and then I can spend more time on things like deep dives, which lately I feel like I've been lacking the ability to kind of do the way I've exactly wanted to for about 3 or 4 weeks. Haven't gotten super deep dives for my channel, that is. All right, Alana Balloon. Oh wait, let's see here. Dan, how long till they normally start going? Oh wait, what's going on? What am I missing? Dave, what's up? What happens if there's a power outage? Would the water under the plenum become toxic? No, it just settles. It would over time deplete of oxygen, though. And if you have enough plants, their roots actually feed better off of ammonia. So really your temperature crashing and your oxygenation issues crashing and shocking the fish, that would probably be my bigger concern if the power went out. But other than that, I wouldn't I wouldn't stress it on its own structurally if it stopped for a day or two. But yeah, let's see here. Leo, Alex, I added 6 autos to my 75-gallon from Dan's Fish. How long till they start? Oh, till they start going ham on the algae. You know, they do take a little while to settle in. The thing is, autosynclus and plecos, and pandagaras, flagfish, Siamese algae eaters, a lot of those fish, if they have something like spirulina in your pressed flakes, or or heaven forbid, brine shrimp or something like that, that's like a tasty, tiny little treat, even though they are primarily vegetarian and Algerians, they're Algerians. Uh, they are going to eat whatever has like the rarest nutrients, just like we we crave like fat and sweet, because those things are rare in the wild for us to get those in concentrated form, and so we eat them up and like are literally addicted to them physiologically, or can be, and crave them because they're the things we need. Just like you'll crave dirt when you're hungry, or when you're starving, or if you've lost a lot of nutrients. So it's kind of interesting in my mind that your fish do the same thing. They're going to go for your flake food. They're going to go for your, I don't know, shrimp food, Hikari pellets. Then they're going to go for the algae they like the most, and they're going to go for the, in order. And so if you've got other food in there, a lot of times they'll never get to it. So, sometimes you need to just not feed the tank for 2 or 3 days and kind of let everybody settle in and start doing things like that. Euro Gupper says, hey, Alex, do you have PayPal I can donate instead of Super Chat? I sure do, buddy. It is Alexander J as in a jet plane, Alexander J. Williamson. Or you can send it to alexanderjwilliamson@gmail.com. Through PayPal, that'll get there too. But I do appreciate that, because that will save me. I mean, I'll get 40% more off of that transaction that way. So that's very kind. Thank you. And Goki, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. It is greatly appreciated. It really is. Thank you, my friend. First Class Fish, I like doing things in natural methods, but I can't get down with the idea that we are recreating nature completely. We aren't. It's in a closed box. Water changes and simple filtration do wonders. Yeah, I agree that it just depends on what you're hoping to achieve too. But yeah, there are certain fish that, if they live in a flowing, raging river that's cold, like a salmon, for instance, there is no way to keep that in a filterless tank. It's gonna die every time. So I do think that there are examples like that are extreme, but I also think that there's more subtle examples where your fish just aren't going to flourish. But there are plenty of fish that do live in basically stagnant, still water for a lot of the year, or even all of the year, especially killies and labyrinth fish and things like that, little sundadanios or rasboras, sometimes some tetras. And those are the ones that are great candidates for the filterless tanks. And I think, the next video I was thinking about making, but I just wanted to make sure I had enough footage to edit in and make it interesting for those folks who are visual, is talking about the limitations of the filterless methods, whether that is any of them, actually, whether it's a Wallstead or Fatherfish or whatever. But if it doesn't have a filter on it, and or you are not doing water changes other than water top-offs, you will hit a wall with quite a few different species, and species of plants for that matters. And so I wanted to kind of talk about those limitations. Or you're not going to keep 15 paku in a 200-gallon, or even 1 paku, without some filtration, water changes, things like that. So yeah. All right, let's see here. Nancy B from Tennessee. Howdy, howdy. Dave got autos from PetSmart and they were proudly hungry. Well, that's good. Hopefully they don't have any things in their gut isn't why they're hungry. But yeah, a lot of times algae eaters, species that are wild, are not as hungry. Or let me turn that around. The wild ones are more hungry than the tank raised ones, and a lot of times they're twice as much money if you have an option, whether it's online, like places like Vivi.com. That gives you the option of, do you want tank raised or do you want the super cheap autosinkless? If you see how autosinkless are caught in the wild down in the Amazon basin, it is crazy. They literally, net them up by the hundreds, and then they pour them out into the canoe, like a dugout wood canoe in most cases, or aluminum boat. And the water that's sloshing around the bilge, I guess, or just the random water in the canoe, they just plop them into there, and then they have a bucket and they literally stick them with their mouth. They pick them up and they stick them, like they press them like a suction cup to the side of a bucket so that they can like maximize how many are stuck around the bucket. They do it super quick and it's very odd to watch, but I don't know why exactly they do it that way, but I've seen it in several videos. Let's see here. Oh, nice. Passing, when you're going to make your first shrimp food at home. That's really cool. I encourage everyone to make their own fish food, shrimp food, experiment with it, have fun. Matt Batcher, what's going on? Let's see here. Goki, I wish you could hand me cash too. People are welcome to come hand me cash. No, really, what I'd love is to be able to speak at more clubs going on. Because that Scape Talk, I'm excited about it, but I've got to pay for my own flight. Or, I mean, they're paying for my flight. I've got to pay for my own other stuff. So hopefully I'll have other folks down there in the LA area. But what I do need from you guys, or what I could really use from you guys, is ideas of what you'd like to see while I'm down there. I also could go with my wife, I'd, pay out of pocket, whatever, to Monterey, where she has a work conference for 4 days. And I could go and then go to the Monterey Aquarium, which I feel like I could get some pretty cool videos out of. But it would probably it's almost all salt water and cold salt water at that there. Not exclusively, but a lot of it is. And it's an incredible aquarium and all that, but I'm just kind of torn on if, like, I don't think at the rate of usually making 10 to $30 a video that it makes sense economically at this point. Maybe if the channel gets a little bigger, but at the same time, like if I'm already brought to a city to speak in a club or something, that's when I'm like, okay, cool. Now it pays for, try to get 4 or 5 extra videos, and yeah. Let's see here. When I'm extra hungry, I just run my mouth across the walls in my kids' rooms. Oh, gross, Steven. Gross and hilarious. JTTR, thank you very kindly for the super sticker. Obviously, very appreciated. All right. There's outdoor channels need your help. They keep killing trout in this pond. Okay. If you send me or comment the name of that channel, I will definitely try to contact them and help them out with their trout. People here in the Northwest, it's one of the few places in the world really that you see sometimes from time to time in really rich estates, or sometimes actually I've seen it a few times in my life in expensive restaurants here in Vancouver, BC, where you'll see actually a flowing river in a restaurant with salmon. It's pretty crazy. Linda, thank you so kindly. $5 super sticker from Miss Linda. It is so much appreciated. I need a a ceremony for each time we uh, have money in the collection pot. You know, I need a little do a little song and dance. You guys are very kind. Uh, all right. Chris Hun, hello. Sorry about your tanks. Oh yeah, that was a long time ago. When I was talking about the bacterial, the Vibrio outbreaks in my tanks, it was really rough though. Those old videos are really rough about 4 or 5 years ago. Um, we were trying to Alex, I saw it as a rescue mission. Thanks, Dave. Hopefully it can be. JTTR, another super sticker. Holy smokes. Thank you very kindly. Very much appreciated. You are very thoughtful. And I hope I'm not stealing your children's college fund or something. Or maybe I can help. Maybe by that point, I can go back to school and I can be teaching a college or something. Come to San Francisco. So I will be in San Francisco. I don't want to announce the details yet, but I believe Ivan Mikolji, the guy who took all those beautiful pictures of the Orinoco for the last 30 years, who runs the nonprofit that he and I set up, or we run it as a board, but he's one of the head of the boards with his sister Yelka as well. We are likely doing a Bay Area-ish, in the Bay Area somewhere, show next year, in a year. So we have got some time to wait, but it looks like it's going to happen. It looks like it's coming to fruition. It's just tricky to get him sometimes from Venezuela into Colombia or Peru, and then to fly out, or he has to fly out of Venezuela to, like, I don't know, Mexico or something, and then fly into the US from there, and then the customs, and then they hassle him and blah blah blah. It's just kind of a to do, because Venezuela and the US don't really have a great relationship. um do 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 Oh, I hear you about not going to PetSmart, but sometimes you see a fish and you just need to rescue it. I hear you. I hear you. Uh, let's see here. Fred Nurk, hello. You're down in Australia, eh? You have a 20-gallon dirted tank with 3 adult platies and 50 billion fry. I'm glad the channel's helpful. You know, you may have one of the first dirted tanks that actually is self-sustainable without putting any food in. You could probably put an Oscar in there or something, and it could just live off fry for the rest of its life. My hang on the back filter started making noise. I will bet you almost anything that there's either algae, sand, or a snail shell in the impeller unit, and it's probably making a grinding or humming noise. And you can unplug everything and then untwist whatever the unit is with the impeller, and then it'll be magnetic, and you'll just pull it straight up. It may be a little tight to tug on. It may resist a little bit. I mean, don't crank on it really hard in case it's some model I don't know of, but usually they're just set in there with a pin in the center, and you can pull that pin up, and then you can pull this little magnet off, and it has fan blades around it made out of cheap plastic. And in there you can use a Q-tip and wipe it out. Actually, when I go over in my video on the canister filter, the 203 or 207 Fluval one, that one I go over how to clean that out and how I did that. And it's very similar for hang off the back filters as well. They all kind of work the same way, essentially, unless it's air driven. When they're air driven, then they work a little differently. And JTTR again with the $3.99 super sticker. Holy smokes. Thanks, buddy. You're far too kind, buddy. I have a 10-gallon cylinder filterless betta tank, dark water self-feeding ecosystem. Right on. Yeah, I love to see those. Those are so great. Can male endlers release a hormone in a tank of babies that can halt some from turning male? Now, I don't think they can do that. I don't know about that. I mean, I haven't heard that part ever. What I have heard is that the temperature of the tank can determine if they're male or female. And I don't want to say it because now I'm second guessing myself, but I want to say the hotter it is, the less females. That might be the opposite though. It's one or the other. Which is true with like a lot of reptiles as well. But it can get pretty stilted. I think it can get like 70-30 mix of female to male if you have that. Do do do. All-Star or all Asdar. Man, I've enjoyed your stuff so long. Excited to tell you that directly for so long. King of DIY, Flew, Brett's were the first channels that sparked my resurgent interest when I came across. Well, thanks. I'm glad that you are enjoying the hobby, and if I can help, I'm honored. You know, I'm just learning with you guys and sharing you hopefully some sources of where I learned it, or at least if you want to know, I can give you more information. And kind of going from there and just yeah. Okay, I'm going to practice with snails first, Linda. Yes. Just got a vampire shrimp for your sphere. Right on, J2GR. They're fun. Just make sure you keep the flow up somewhere for it so that it can do its filter feeding a little bit. They're scavengers too, though, but they're not quite like bamboos. But it does help to let them kind of pick through things like that in the water as well. Lets them be a little less outgoing if they do want to crouch down. Aaron is asking, what are your thoughts on the efficiency of submerged plant roots infiltration of submerged plant roots infiltration versus submerged plants? Are you talking about when you put them in a filter? Because if you're putting them in a filter, it's actually, I mean, it's fine for the space to be putting them there, but it's not the best because your bacterial load is actually turning ammonia into nitrites into nitrates in those steps within your filter media. And plants actually would prefer to tap into low intensity ammonia. So actually, wherever that ammonia is being deposited, which it happens to be the substrate usually, or the water column for a short amount of time, that's where the roots are going to be happiest. So they don't feed any better in the filtration unit necessarily, other than that there's a lot of times there's filter media and a scaffold for them to kind of grow on and around, which sometimes people don't have elsewhere. Thank you. Thank you, Alistair. It's very kind of you. Yeah, I'm trying not to be too patronizing or rude when I can. Definitely, anybody sincerely wanting to learn and know, it's so incredibly appreciated. Yeah, I mean, I love teaching. I love learning. Like, if I didn't have something new to learn every day, I don't know what I'd do with myself. It's like that. That's what makes this channel and when I'm able to don't dedicate so much of my time to the channel, you know, when the channel's doing well and everything, and you know, we're slowly growing right now. Summer's going to be a little slow, I have a feeling, but I'm going to keep churning it out. It's just sometimes I feel like, oh, I wish I would make the ones that get the traction, because to me they're all interesting, they're all important. I wouldn't make them if they were like super lame usually, but to me, I want to save those sometimes for when the channel's doing well, so because I know, oh, it'll get all these views. Versus sometimes I feel like I knocked it out of the park 4 years ago when I made this video, and it's just sitting and has 500 views, and no one's ever going to see it because that snowball never got going. You know. Yeah, Jeffrey, thank you very kindly about the PayPal. That's very nice of you. Everybody's being so thoughtful, so kind tonight. Let's see here. There was algae on the mechanism. Thanks again. Oh, good. So you figured out why it was making noise. Yeah, sometimes you can literally take a turkey baster and just squirt water into that impeller chamber. If you turn off the filter, just unplug it. That's another way that sometimes forcing water in will cause whatever got stuck in there, because it's usually stuck either right around the center post and the cylindrical impeller shaft, or around like at the bottom. It's one or the other usually. Are no, you know, autosynclists in my experience do not eat black beard algae very well. Flagfish will, pandagars sometimes will, mollies actually sometimes will, a mono shrimp definitely will, and certain Siamese algae eaters will definitely do it, especially when they're young. The reticulatus version, out of the three algae eaters that are common in the hobby, there's the reticulatus, the elongatus or elongated nose one, and then there is the, what's the other one? Siam orientalis or something. Well, one has a long stripe down the body, the other one has a black diamond on its tail. I like the one with the black diamond on its tail when it's young. They eat like half their weight in algae every day, even blackbeard algae, as long as you're not feeding them a bunch of rapashi or something that's just irresistible to them and they fill up on that. All right, let's see here. Nat Theobald, what's going on? Any ideas on how to feed shrimp and not bladder snails? Reduce feedings, but there are still so many snails. Yeah, so that's definitely a problem a lot of people face. And, you know, I feel like I could make a short or a video on that too. But honestly, the best way is to get a little beaker container or piece of glass, or something like a candle ramekin or a condiment dish, any little ceramic or glass container. Put your food, your shrimp food in that, and your shrimp can get to it, especially if you put it up high somewhere. They'll smell it and they'll go to it. And then when you're done with that, take it out. Take it out as soon as you see that they've gotten their fill. And shrimp tend to be a little messy. They tend to steal pieces of the food and swim off with it. They're like greedy little robbers, and sometimes they'll take like a chunk the size of themselves and try to swim off with it. But yeah, do that, and then you can scoop out some of the snails. Or what you can do is put food in the tank, wait for the snails to jump in and eat, collect the snails, put them elsewhere, or feed them to a puffer, or give them away, or whatever. And then you'll have less that way. So those are the two best ways to deal with it, I think. Let's see here. I'm wondering, yeah, Silver Creek. That's what I was wondering at first, is if immersed versus submersed was being talked about. Yeah, I was curious about that too with her question earlier. I guess I'll find out in a second. Looking at some planted substrate, aqua vitro, aqua solum, it has humidic acid. So I'm a bit cautious. Can push the pH down apparently, but plants like it. I'm in Canada, so not many choices. So humic acid is going to be in any of your leaves. So is your nitric acid and your carbonic acid. And then within humic acid, there's actually in tannins, there's a few other acids. If you watch my video on tannins specifically, it's like an hour long. We go into there's all a gallic acid and black gallic acid. Those are the common names, but then there's official names also. But they all, that's why plants, why botanicals make your water more acidic, is the elements break down from their complex bio chemistry living format, complex structures into their constituent molecules and derivatives. Do they not end up eating mucus film in community tanks? Snails. I don't know that question. Let's see, was that directed at me? Guys, if you have a question for me too, it does help if you say at Fishery. Then I can know it's for me. It's for me. Um, mm, 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 mm. Do 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 do. Do, 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 do. Yeah, Eurogupper. I did a video, guys. Don't confuse the Chinese algae eater or the Cambodian Gara or Cambodian algae eater or the Siamese flying fox or the Chinese flying fox. There are so many little silver, well, not little, but 6-inch to a foot long silver to copper colored fish that can come in and not be what you're expecting or be sold incorrectly, knowingly or unknowingly. Have you ever considered doing re-edits of old content that didn't get many views? Yeah, you're not Nirvana Aquatics. I have, that is something I've been thinking about. There's been some things that I don't think would do good still. They would maybe if the channel had like 100,000 subscribers, then maybe it'd be worth doing. Because there'd be a large enough group of hardcore nerds that want to see something like, for instance, talking about the Fibonacci sequence and the Fibonacci pattern and how pine cones and sunflowers and mountain ranges and trees, leaves and feathers on a duck, they're all arranged a certain way geometrically, and their rows are in certain prime and key numbers to fit and stack a very specific way, and how that manifests in our aquariums and how you can use it for aquascaping and decorating also in ways that fractal geometry makes your aquarium look more natural. But that one, some people absolutely loved, especially people into like Alex Gray or mathematicians or the like. And then other people were just like, no, we're not doing math on this channel. No, even though it wasn't really like, a math problem or anything. Drifter's Workshop says, I clean my impeller chamber with a small bottle brush or brush for cleaning non-disposable straws. Yeah, that's a great way to do it. Yeah, definitely. I've never made an actual stream outside. I have made a pond and I've made a waterfall. In fact, I got arrested when I was 15. The week I turned 15, 14 to 15, I got arrested big time, kicked out of school too. And my punishment, other than getting expelled at the time and having to appeal and get back into school, was they gave me in January, they gave me the rest of the work for the rest of the year, and I was supposed to start doing that. Well, I'd finished it by maybe the end of March or something like that, maybe mid-March. So my dad decided I was going to build us a koi pond as my next part of the punishment. Plus, I had 1,000 hours of community service. So the moral of the story is drugs are bad, okay? Jeffrey Beaupre. Yeah, cucumber and zucchini, especially if you blanch zucchini. They really like that one too. Or I mean, you don't have to, but they like it when you do blanch zucchini in particular. Just put it on there. There'll be a bunch of snails on there, and then you just pull them right out. Yep, that's a good way to do it too. Jeffrey. And then, wait, what did I miss? What did I miss? Oh, right on, Nirvana Quacks. You like the tannins video as is. Yeah, that one was definitely a dive that I didn't realize I was going to get so into. And then I was like, oh, how do I keep this down? Because the script that I wrote was literally twice as long as what ended up getting made. Oh, I appreciate that. Fish Family link, buddy. Reminding folks to give a thumbs up. That always does help streams. Lets people see him and stuff. Oh, I have news too, guys. Just click. Boom. Here comes the boom. That silly POD song. Anyways, dynamite. Down, down, down. Born to be alive. Born to be alive. 'Cause now I'm born to be alive. People all the time, they try to always stop and bring and jumping down, down, down. Where was I, guys? I have no idea. True Patience, welcome. After watching the YouTube channel Random, I have a strong belief in surface area for tanks. Yeah, surface area is where it's at for sure. I mean, even like fish, the bigger the surface area in your tank, the more room they're going to have to swim. And most swim horizontally. And so vertically, you don't see a lot of tanks that are like super tall. It's kind of a rare thing. There are a few cases where you can do that and it works. Lindisfarne, hello, how are you? Spellbreaker, hello. Do you like the Hong Kong yellowfin from Dan's Fish? Yes, I do. Beautiful, beautimous, domestic strain, beautimous. I'm wondering if they crossed two of the Thanictus with each other to get that. Let's see here. Plenums are making a comeback. Yeah, they will. What channel? Hold on, guys. Let me get caught up with the cool kids. Today you uploaded a video about the Sargasso seaweed, and you referred to a video you made about 3 years ago where your tank that got infected. Would have been nice to tag a link in the video. Oh, you know what? I did tag links in the light video, and I totally forgot to do it for the other one. I will. I'll go and I'll do that. And the reason I didn't was because they got listed as graphic material on the original ones, because I filmed my fish and literally you could see the pleco's rib cage through the thing. So I had to like take the sensor tool and edit out spots. But the thing that I was going to tell you guys about is there is now in YouTube Music, this channel now has a podcast. Yay! So the podcast outside of YouTube is in the works. There's like 5 episodes up. That's on me. I need to like learn the software, buy the software. I haven't had the money, quite frankly, to buy a new laptop to edit with. And then this just happened the other day. I don't know if you guys can, or I was out collecting fish and I cracked the screen. That's not a big deal yet. And you can get a kit to replace it, for, like DIY, replace your screen. But it's right next to the camera and the cracks go into the front camera. So I got to use the back camera for now. But it's about $200-ish to fix the glass, which I'll have to do. Ray of Sunshine, I am a new subscriber as of today. I've been watching your videos all day at work for days. I'm glad you are enjoying it. Learned more lessons in the last few days than the last 40 plus years. That makes me incredibly happy and honored. Thank you very kindly, and thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. Yeah, Nirvana, maybe I'll dig up that original script. Mel, what's going on? Welcome. Oh yeah, use the Fibonacci sequence in your music. Yeah, that's like, some Tool or Da Vinci type stuff right there. Why fancy goldfish always die? Because they're inbred. They need to be in warm water. They need to be given a very specific diet because their organs are usually compressed. They're usually raised in poor conditions unless you're paying a lot of money for them. But if you get the ones from a big box store that are fancy goldfish, those ones tend to be bred in large vats, Indonesia, Malaysia, either ponds or even indoor areas. But they're just bred in really bad conditions with lots of exposure to illness as well, but also their lines are just super, super inbred, and there's no work being done to correct for that. Yeah. You want a rainbow shark? Capricorn Shouty, what's up? Diego Dominguez, hello from Chile. Hello from Chile. Welcome. That's awesome. I'm so glad you're here with us. Yep. Okay. Let's see. I think I'm actually caught up. I caught up with you guys finally. That or my chat froze. One or the other, one of them things. Speaking of correcting lines, I have a few fry that made it past being eaten. Should I cull them or keep them for their ability to be elusive? I mean, are they pretty? If they're not pretty, then I'd probably put them in another tank or feed them to something. That's just me. I mean, you do you honor them. Okay. Yeah. Honor their elusiveness. By the way, if you guys just got here, I got a bag with culiloches that came out of water that's 55 degrees Fahrenheit, or what is that, like 11 or 12 degrees? No, not even. Like 10 degrees Celsius. And yeah, culiloche, you are my culiloche. Oh no, it's dripping. Okay, I'm gonna just put that down. Just dripped on the computer, which is not what I need right now. Hold on. Uh-oh. It's going haywire. The trackpad got wet. Hold on, guys. I might lose you. I nearly lost you there. And it's taken off somewhere. But now I'm back. Oh, now it's zooming in and doing weird stuff to me. My guppies should be eaten. Parrotfish in Hawaii are incredible. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're really cool the way they eat coral. You can hear that crunch, and it just like just reverberates in your like jawbone in your ear. Yeah, it's kind of 12.7 Celsius. Thank you, Goki. Or Gawky. And now we've got Gardaki and Screaming Trees. Yes, that's right. Oh, your guppy fry started to eat your baby shrimp. Yeah, that's not good. Need rice. 55 Fahrenheit. Thank you. Appreciate it, buddy. Well, guys, I know that Lucas Brett's streams now, so I think I'm gonna call it a night and go key. Okay, thank you. I'm so sorry. Go key, like the anime. Um, I have stuff to show you guys, and I really want to, but I think we'll do that. The panda loaches and some new fry, and I cleaned up some tanks that are looking pretty good right about now. Just because Hans Evers was over, and he's kind of a hero of mine. The German fish master. I was like French. I don't know why I said it that way. I'm so sorry to all the Germans. Doing this again, but when you see him, let Dan know I have breeding colony of empire gudgeons. I know. Oh yeah, email Dan if you want. I mean, I'm sure he'll talk with you. Terry Gorsh, Dark Side of the Tank. You know what? I actually did a video to Dark Side of the Moon. It was a live stream where I had it in my headphones and I filmed all of my tanks and I moved like at the speed and zooming in on different fish and different things going on in plants to that. And I want to know if you guys, do I have anybody who's that nerdy that we should do that again? Where I say like 3, 2, 1, press play. You guys go find your copyrighted music. I won't say anything on the stream, but we'll go on a real time like voyage of like looking at all the different plants and tanks I have. Yeah, we could do that. I would just miss the stream my first time getting a live notification. Your name. I don't know if I can say your name. I'm going to say Bakiaki, even though I know that's not what it says. But guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to fly away. Thank you so much. New members, new subscribers, old subscribers, old members. You guys all rock. Great questions tonight and great people tonight, as always. And thank you so much, super chatters, and apparently I'll see what's going on PayPal too. Thank you very kindly, you guys. Yeah, replay folks, let me know what you think about the music stream too. Hello, Corey Miller. Sorry guys, I'm gonna step away, and I'll try to do a community post a little bit, like a few hours ahead of time, if I am gonna stream tomorrow, the next day again for a while, because like once the panda loaches just got here in the mail like a few hours ago, and then I just got them acclimated, so they're probably stressed and hiding. But tomorrow I can probably coax them out, and they're pretty stinking cute. I bought 6 of them, and yeah, so I've got 6 of them in a 10-gallon tank again. All right, guys, have a wonderful night. What do I want to sing as the exit? Good try. It's just the Japanese word. Baka and uki pronounced like yuki. Okay. Baka uki. Baka yuki. Music to watch fish by. Yeah. There's a few videos where people are just like showing their fish tank just on a tripod stand, and they're pretty, but they're just like, okay, whatever. And they're used as screensavers and background stuff. And it was, man, some of them have like 80 million views. I wish I could get one of those I wish I could get one of them to hit like that. One of the videos I uploaded. Anyways, guys, thank you. Much love. Did I see something about a 3-dog night? Oh no, it's something about Mel's dog running away. Or something. I'm late. Had to chase down my rescue dog of 3 days that got loose when I rolled my ankle badly. Oh no, I'm sorry. Hope your ankle feels better. And Matt watch it Friday night. They watching you. Well, I'm out of here. So if you guys want to go join LRB, I don't want to take away from his glory and friends. Please make more wild betta videos. I will gladly do so. I want to get some more wild bettas soon. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Generals gathered in their masses, just like bettas in. All right, I'm out. I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Don't read my lips.